In this Premiere Pro tutorial, we're going to look at customizing the keyboard layout. I'm going to go up to the Premiere Pro menu and go to Keyboard Shortcuts. And you'll see by default it's Premiere Pro. If I click the little pull down here, you can see I also have a choice for Avid Media Composer and Final Cut Pro. I do a lot of editing in Final Cut Pro, so I don't want to have to relearn all my shortcuts, so I'm going to pick Final Cut Pro. So if you were doing more Avid editing, you could pick the Avid one. Now we're going to start with that, and then we're going to customize it because there's a few things that don't cross over. One of them doesn't cross over because it conflicts with something already in here. So I'll show you how that works. I'm going to type in mark, and basically I'm looking for mark clip. / is mark clip. So I'm going to click edit, type in X, and it says this is used by the rate stretch tool. That's fine. We can remap the rate stretch tool to something else, so I'm going to leave that. Okay, and you can see now that our layout is custom, which means it is not affecting any of the 3 that ship with Premiere. So you will not modify the 3 that come with it by doing custom. So if you start a custom and you don't like it, you could even go here and just delete it and say yes. And now I could start over. So I could go back and go to Final Cut Pro, mark clip, hit edit, hit X. There's a few other things that I want to change. So I'm going to go play. Want to go to play around. That's right. That's \, but I want play in and out to be shift / like it would in Final Cut. So hit edit and say shift \. Okay. Now there's a couple others that I like to add, and I'm going to type in bridge, and I like reveal in bridge, and I'm going to just edit this and say Control B to reveal in bridge. Then I'm going to clear out my search here, go to File. I'm going to go down to Get Properties. I want to go Get Properties, change selection from Command 9 to Control I, because I know that is Get Info in Final Cut, so I find that easier to do. Okay. Edit in Adobe Audition. I like this. If you're used to Final Cut Pro, Audition is very similar to Soundtrack. So I'm going to select Clip, hit edit. I'm going to call this Control A. And then for sequence, which is send the whole sequence, Control Shift A. So basically Sound Booth is end of life now, so generally you're going to want to use Audition instead. And Audition is the first time that it's on the Mac. Okay, so I want to save this as my layout. Click Save As. I'm going to call this Clay. Say Save. And now this is a choice up here. So we have Clay with the other ones. I'm going to go over to the project window and select a clip. And then I'm going to hit Control B. And that's going to bring up Bridge. And here's my Elvis clip. And you can see that you can rate this like you would anything else in Bridge. So I could go to Label and give it stars, or I could say it's approved, or select. So this is pretty handy. Okay. Going to close Bridge. I also like to use the Get Info that we made. So if I select a clip and hit Control I, that's basically properties. It shows me the file size, image size, frame rate, and I can scroll down. There's a lot of stuff here. So if you ever really need to check a file out and find out, well, if something weird is happening, you know, go and look and see what's going on with it, because it'll tell you, you know, the frame rate here too. You can also go to the sequence and select a clip and hit Control I. And that will also give you the properties. I'm going to go select my sequence called Demo and hit Command E, and that's going to bring up our media encoder. And then you can come over here, you know, and pick different presets. I have H.264, and I could pick it for Vimeo or for YouTube. So this is pretty handy. So, you know, generally make a shortcut for anything you're going to do a lot. If you're constantly going to File and doing Export in Media, it just makes more sense to make the shortcut Apple E or something else. I just picked it because E is for export. Okay, so we're going to go now and add an extend edit to our shortcuts. So go to Premiere Pro, Keyboard Shortcuts. I would go to Clay and just type in extend. And I've already set it, but you would select it, hit edit, and hit E. And then I made extend next edit instead of previous to Shift E. So what does that mean? So let's go down and select this clip right here, Here's the playhead. If I hit E, it's going to extend that clip. If I wanted to come back the other way, move the playhead back, hit Shift E, it would extend that way. So basically that's like doing a rolling edit. This is the tool for rolling edit down here. So I could do a rolling edit. I don't have to pick the rolling edit tool. I'm just using the regular selection tool and then selecting the clip and then putting the CTI where I want, and then I'm hitting E to get an extend. Also, if you don't want to have to pick the ripple tool, if you hold down the Apple or the Command key when you come down here and you click, then you can actually ripple that. Oh, and I accidentally set a keyframe, so let's just look at that. You can keyframe opacity and volume. Opacity for video and volume for audio. You could pick the pen tool to do that, but then you've got to remember to switch tools, so I suggest you stay in the regular selection tool and just come over here to where you want, hold down the Apple or Command tool, click, add points, and then I could drag them up and down. So if I did that here, this clip would basically fade up, and if I added another point by hitting Apple, clicking, now I could fade down. So this is pretty handy. I use this a lot, and it's popping back to here because we've got an in and out set. So I could hit Option X to clear that and then just come and play this clip. Also, I like to use play around and play into out. So I'm going to make sure that video 1 is bright gray and basically put my playhead over it and hit X. So let's say for video 2 I want to set an in and out point. Right now it's not going to do it. If I hit X, it's setting an in and out for this clip on video 1 because it's bright gray, which means it's selected. So this is like auto select in Final Cut. So click to deselect it, go to video 2, hit X. Now it's going to mark the in and out for video 2. If I wanted to mark the in and out for this clip on video 3, click video 2, select video 3, hit X. That sets it in and out. I could right click here and also clear in and out. So this is very similar to Final Cut Pro. If I hit Shift backslash and make sure it did it in the source because that's what's selected, so make sure that I'm in the sequence down here and hit Shift backslash, and now it's going to play into out. Okay, I'm going to hit Option X to clear that. What if I just want to play around the CTI? So I'm going to put it here and I just want it to play around, which is backslash. It's going to back up a couple seconds before it and then go a couple seconds afterwards. It'll loop if looping is turned on here, and how far it backs up and goes afterwards, that's pre-roll and post-roll. So if you go up to Premiere Pro, go to Preferences and go to General, I've got it set to 3 and 3, but just so you can see it, if I set it to like 8 seconds and 8 seconds and then did it, it's going to back up pretty far. Okay, and again, it will go and loop if this loop here is clicked. What I generally do is go to Preferences, General, and a lot of times I like to set it 3 before and 2 after. It really depends on you and what kind of work you're doing. So again, hit backslash, and there we go. So I hope those shortcuts were helpful. You can find me at claygasbury.com. Drop me an email if you have any questions or if you want to see any particular tutorials. Cheers.